under normal circumstances, 24 to 48 hours for the recording to come out. So I'm sure you'll get a lot out of it. Well, it looks like the majority of people are coming into the room or are in the room now. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to move a few things around here and get going. So thank you so much for joining me today. This webinar is part of the Australian Federal Government Small Business Advisory Services Program, a program that we are very proud to be a part of. And it is brought to you by Business Station Western Australia, Treaty Business Consulting and Regional Development Australia. So this program is due to end in June, but we are hoping that it gets extended into the near future. So as I said to you, I'm just going to turn my video off now so that we are coming into, I don't have myself looking back at myself, makes it a little bit easier. So for those of you who don't know me and haven't been to my sessions before, my name is Kerrie Saverin and I'm the co-founder of ASBAS Digital Solutions. I'm a digital business consultant. We do website design, Facebook page management, and obviously online learning, which you're all here to do today. So congratulations. I've got over 20 years experience in business management. I'm currently the president of the Beenleigh-Yatala Chamber of Commerce. So that's a little bit about me, and hopefully there's a lot of people actually here today that have seen me present before. So I will be confirming my sessions coming up a little bit later today. Thanks, Teresa. A little bit later, I got a direct message there asking if I could confirm the other webinars and workshops that I'll be taking part in this week. So I will be doing that a little bit further on. So if you have any questions, please do put them in the chat, whether it's to everybody or whether it is personal, I don't mind. And I will do my best to answer them as we go through. If I don't answer them straight away, please bear with me. I've got a lot to get through in this presentation today, and it may be that your question is going to be answered a little bit further on. So you're in the right place if you're ready to gain a clear understanding of how social media is used to grow your business. Most of us, if you have your own business, are on some kind of social media, and probably the number one thing that I hear is, I'm on Facebook or I'm on Instagram and it's just not working. And I think you'll see today that simply being on there is not how the game is played anymore. So there are billions, yes, billions of people who visit social media websites each day. So Facebook currently has over 2 billion daily active users. Now that's daily active. That doesn't mean to say that there isn't more actual users, but daily 2 billion of them actually get on. YouTube has almost 2 billion. Instagram's got over 1 billion, and Twitter has approximately 330 million. Now this is daily active users. And LinkedIn, for a professional profile, has 303 million, and Pinterest has 250 million and growing, I will say, with Pinterest. So why all these stats about, how many people use social media, etc.? The reason why is because I need you to have a clear understanding of no matter what industry you are in, this is where your customers are. So, a lot of people say, oh, I don't need to advertise on social media. My customers are not on social media, and I'm here to tell you, you are wrong. The majority of people in some way, shape or form are on some sort of social media. So with such a staggering number of people using social media every single day, it's one of the most powerful ways to grow your business. And I'm sure each of you has probably seen at some stage or another somebody go viral on a platform or something along those lines to actually grow their business. And that's why you're interested and you're here today. The great thing about social media is it allows you to attract new customers and connect with audiences that you would never have done so otherwise. And if your business is not location dependent, so if you don't have a bricks and mortar business, then you can reach customers, thousands of them, from right across the world. You don't need to rely on just your local customers. By posting on social media, you can attract people from all over the world. You can get your brand in front of a vast audience. Through consistently posting on social media, you can build a powerful brand, and that brand can separate you from your competition and from the crowd. You can establish yourself as a thought leader in your industry by posting regularly, especially if it's new and insightful, and it really cements you as an expert in your field. Now, this obviously raises some important questions. And here they are here. So, what is the best platform to use? These are quite often the questions that I can ask. What tactics should I use to be seen by the most amount of people? Are there certain types of content that perform better than others? How can you regularly post content? And what etiquette rules do you follow or do you need to follow? We're going to answer these questions for you today. So many business owners think that if they simply start posting on social media, they'll be successful and they'll attract new customers. But as you're about to see today, there is a little bit more behind the strategy than doing just that. In order to build your business through social media, you need to have a clear strategy and a plan in place. You need to know where you're going to post, what you're going to post, how often you're going to post. And it's important to have a plan for engaging with your audience and how you're going to do that. I see many businesses that just simply post across, all the platforms, post the same thing, and they don't ever interact with their clients and they don't actually get the most benefits from the platform. And as for a small amount of effort, you can get a lot out of it. If you have a plan, you'll find that you quickly build yourself an audience. So in this webinar, you'll discover a step-by-step effective social media strategy for building your business. We're going to guide you through the what, the why, the how, all the rest of it. We're going to answer those questions so that when you leave here today, you have a clearer understanding of exactly what it is that you need to do. I'm going to be honest with you, some of you may feel a little bit overwhelmed by the information today. And this is why we always make sure we send a copy of the recording so you can go back and listen to it again. I don't want you to walk away with thinking, oh my God, now I've got so much to do. I want you to walk away with the knowledge of knowing how you can use social media to build your business and an understanding of why, if you are doing it at the moment, it may not be working. So the very first step is obviously to choose your platform. It's often the most important one, but it's also the most difficult one sometimes. Instead of trying to post on every social media platform out there, I really just want you to focus in on one or two that will have the most impact on your business. Because obviously every business is different. So in order to do that, you need to know who your audience is. You need to know your customer avatar. Where do they spend most of their time when it comes to social media? Where do they like to interact with brands and businesses? What encourages them to purchase? The other thing that you can look at is who is the biggest influencers in your space and what platforms do they use? So if you have competition in the space of your business, are they on social media? Are they having success? And what platforms are they on? Obviously, you want to be where your audience is. If you're a business to business, if you offer a business to business service, then a really good place for you to be would be LinkedIn. But if you are someone that is looking for a business customer, you may find that another platform like Facebook is a lot easier for you, a lot better fit for your business. If your audience is younger, you may want to focus on Instagram and YouTube. They have a strong following amongst the millennials. So if that's your kind of customer. And as I said, if your business focuses on professionals, then LinkedIn may be a good place for you to focus on. You may not necessarily be looking for business owners, but you may be looking for professional managers. That could be who you are. If you're targeting women, Pinterest is a really good place to start. A lot of us women like to be on Pinterest. If you are wasting your time publishing on platforms where your customers don't spend their time, they'll never engage because they're actually not there to engage with you. You really want to be where your audience is. So you want to be focusing in your time on the most effective platforms. Now, this doesn't mean to say that you can't be across all of them. You can be on LinkedIn. What I'm saying is if LinkedIn is not where your customers are, I only want you posting there once a month. And I want you to focus in on where your customers are. Now, if you don't know, if you're going, well, I have no idea where my audience spends most of my time, really simple way to find out is just to ask them. You could send out an email to them all and you could say, hey, what social media platforms do you use most? You could create a poll. You could ask the question, I mean, this is one of the most effective ways to find out where your particular audience spends most of their time. You could also have a look at content that you've already posted across your social media platforms and what has gotten a really big response, and that'll give you an idea as well. So is there certain content and certain platforms that you get a lot more comments and likes on than another? One other thing to consider when choosing a social media platform is, what are you selling? So if you're selling a product, so depending on the product or services, one platform may be better than another. If you sell a physical product, like a visual platform like Instagram or Pinterest might be your best option for you. But on the other hand, if you're primarily focused on selling services, a platform like Facebook or maybe even Twitter or LinkedIn might be where you need to be. Now, as you consider which platforms to use, it's essential that you think smaller rather than thinking big. In other words, you don't want to spread yourself too thin across multiple platforms. As I said to you before, we really just want you to pick two platforms. And that way you can really master them and you can really interact with your client. And the reality is that you probably don't have enough time to post effectively across a variety of different platforms. You'll get better results if you give 100% of your energy to two platforms instead of 25% of your energy to multiple platforms. Now, if you're still not sure which platforms to focus on, even after surveying your audience, etc., you can always fall back on Facebook. With over 2 billion users, you can be sure that part of your target audience spends some of their time on the site. So if you're looking for somewhere to get started, this could be an option for you. At the end of the day, what matters most is not the particular platform you choose, but rather that you choose one and you stick to it and you are actually interacting on there and you are being social. Step number 2, optimizing your social media profile. So you've now picked your platform, you've done your research, you know where your people are, and you've picked the 2 platforms that you want to be on. You need to make sure that your social media profiles are optimized in order for your customers to interact with you. So if you went to a business's social media page and you saw that they barely had any information about their business, and they haven't posted in the last 4 months, would that be a business that you would connect with or that you would want to do business with? I think we're all saying no. Absolutely not. We would think, is this business closed down? Is it still going? And that's why it's essential that you make sure that you optimize your social media profile. So what that means is you want to make sure that your profile is as informative about your business as possible. You want your profile to draw people in, not push them away. So how do you optimize your profile? Selecting a professional username. This is probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see. Now, ideally, you want your username to either be the name, if you're promoting yourself personally, it needs to be your own personal name. Or if you're promoting your business, then it needs to be your business or company name. In the example of my business, Altitude Business Solutions, we run everything under Altitude Business Solutions. You don't want to create a username like Tulip Girl 1997. I made that mistake with my email address, putting the year of my birth in my email address, my personal one. Yes, it looked good 20 years ago, not so much now. It really comes across as unprofessional when you do this, and it won't set you up for success. Now, your username is typically also the URL of your social media profile. For example, facebook.com.au/Altitude Business Solutions. So you need to think about how many times people are actually going to see that. Try and keep your usernames the same across the different social networks, and this will actually make it very easy to find you on social media. One of the biggest mistakes that I see, particularly on Facebook, is where the business page is actually called Altitude Business Solutions, but the username has been picked as Give Your Business Altitude. Now, what that means is when I go to Facebook and I search for Altitude Business Solutions, I won't find you because I will be looking for your username. So make sure your username and the name of your page on Facebook are the same. It's a common mistake. Now for Facebook, you need to set up a professional page, not just a personal profile. You'll get so many more insights when it comes to Facebook. You want to set up a page that is solely dedicated to your business, and you'll only be posting stuff that's related to your business on this page. Yes, it's important that you get to know the person behind the business. It's okay to, post some personal stuff up there, out and about with the dogs, whatever. It's okay to do that as well, but primarily this will be for business. A lot of people ask, why don't you set up a professional profile and do it from there? You just don't have the insights. You don't have the insights of the personal profile to know if what you are posting is actually working or not. Where on a page you do, and that's really important. Make sure you use a high quality profile photo. The amount of times we see profile photos that A, don't represent the person or the business. You'll notice with our Facebook page and a lot of our social media to do with Altitude Business Solutions, the profile picture is always the logo. You can use the logo of your business, you can use a photo of yourself or manager of the business or whatever you would like to do. I'm trying to grow a brand around Altitude Business Solutions. That is my key goal. So I choose to put that everywhere the logo is. I change it every now and again. Sometimes the mountain has a Christmas hat on it. There'll be an Easter egg sitting next to it soon. So I do change it a little bit. But ideally, the photo will be a nice, clear photo. I used to say professionally taken, but I think, with today's technology, you can take a really professional photo on your iPhone. So I really don't mind if it's not professionally taken. What I would like to see, though, is brand consistency. So if you're going to be on two platforms, that same profile picture is across that two platforms. If you don't have a logo yet, you need to have one designed. I'm going to give you 2 tips. You can write this down for those of you that have got notepads. So Fiverr, Fiverr.com is where you can hire somebody to create a logo for you. There is another brilliant platform called Tailor Brands. That's Tailor Brands. And they will also create logos for you as well. They're very inexpensive and they give it to you in all the formats that you will ever need. That's where we created ours. We went to Tailor Brands and we created ours, but previous businesses I have also used Fiverr. I'm not a creative person, if I'm completely honest with you. I need a little bit of help there. They make it incredibly easy to get an inexpensive logo for you. So the About Us section, and I know that some of you may have already heard that some of this is changing on some platforms. So the About You section, you need to make sure that it is filled out correctly. If there's an opportunity for you to tell a little story about your business, then certainly put it in there. I know Facebook is removing the Our Story option. If they haven't done so to your page already, they will be removing it shortly. This is where you communicate what you're all about, what matters most to you. It's about your business. You may have limited space to write in your about information, so it's really important that you get the key things in there as to what it is that you do. What is it that sets you apart from everybody else? We, through this program, get to meet some amazing business owners, and certainly some of the things that they do and some of the services that they have some really unique properties compared to their competitors. And that's what you really want to make sure that you have in your About section. Make sure that you include links to your website if you have them as well, and if it will allow you to, your other social media platforms. Not everything does. Upload a professional cover photo. So this here is an example of a cover photo that we have had. We do have a different one at the moment. We do change them up. So making sure that you upload a professional cover photo is really important. Almost every social media platform allows you to have a cover photo. The cover photo normally spans the top of your social media profile. It sits behind your profile photo, but it's there to enhance you. So if your business has a logo or a motto, consider putting that slogan on your cover photo if you want to as well. So we've chosen to put on this one: website design, Facebook page, the next graphic design and online learning. We've changed it up a little bit at the moment. What I want you to think of too is that both your profile picture and your cover photos are picked up by Google. So if you are putting this on your business Facebook page, when somebody Googles your business name, that will actually come up in the Google searches. So it's really important for identity as well. Facebook actually gives you the option to have a video in your cover section, so that can be something that helps you stand out from the crowd as well, and just something a little bit different. Make sure that you enter all your contact information. Remember, you're trying to grow your business, you're trying to grow it using social media, so make sure you've got the contact in there. You want to make it as easy as possible for potential customers to contact you. So include your phone number, your email address, your physical address. This is, some of the really basic stuff that gets missed out on. Be professional as you optimize your profile. Now this section here, I have a bit of a contradictive. When I say be professional, I want you to be professional to your brand and to your business. The person that you see on the screen here now is a professional business person. But if that is not the image of your business, when I talk about a professional image, that is related to your brand. What branding message are you putting out there? Remember, your social media profile will be the first touch point for some potential clients, and it's critical that your profile picture tells a bit of a story also. When I look at this picture on the screen, obviously she looks rather friendly. It's always good. So having a smile on your face doesn't hurt if you're going to have your own photo up there. Just make sure it's in line. Step number 3, create a posting schedule. This is so important. Many people don't. Social media is part of the advertising of your business. Would you go and spend money and advertise? Essentially, it's free if you do it right. But would you go and spend money advertising in the local newspaper and have no idea about what you're going to advertise and what you're going to do? Absolutely not. But people do it on the free version of social media all the time. So sit down and have a plan. When creating your social media calendar, you need to ask yourself some questions like, how often am I going to post? I do run a webinar on this, and I do apologize because I don't know when the date is, but I'll give you the details to be able to check it all out later. I do run a webinar about social media content planning and how you should do that. How often are you going to post? Make those decisions. Ideally, you need to be posting at least once a day. I know that sounds like a lot, but if you are new to the social media scene, I say 3 times a week. Just look at 3 times a week. When you're doing that planning, you also need to think about what formats you'll use. So the most successful businesses on social media use a variety of different formats. So they don't just post text, they'll also have images and videos, etc. That's what I'm talking about when I say format. Are you going to be posting a video? Are you going to be posting words? And what sort of content will you be posting? So how are you going to advertise your business? For example, if maybe you're a life coach, you may want to regularly share inspirational quotes and photos. Another option. If you're in the health kind of industry, you might want to post a daily tip that could be incredibly helpful for your audience. So what I want you to think about when you're planning your content is, what problems does your customers have? What are the problems that your customers have that your business solves? So you should quite easily be able to sit down and think about your customer for a second, every customer you may have ever had, and what questions they have asked you and just start writing a list. I had a one-on-one session earlier today where I said, sometimes when you are in your business for so long and you're doing what you're doing, it can be very hard to remember what it was like when you knew nothing. That's why this ASBAS program is so good. You can actually have the opportunity to talk to experts that know nothing about your business, and they will ask you the questions. Because when you know nothing about a particular business, there's plenty there. So you want your content to be related to your customers' problems. You want to create value. That's what you want to do. So you may be thinking, like, why do I have to map this in advance? Why can't I just start posting? Well, there are a number of reasons, but it helps you with your consistency. It also takes the pressure off you if you have a plan and you have it already sorted. You're taking the guesswork out of things. And when you actually sit down and make a plan, and I've done this plenty of times, particularly through this program where I've had a one-on-one session with somebody and gone, okay, this next hour, you and me, let's plan out your next month. And never ever have I got to the end of that hour and A, it hasn't been planned, and B, the person hasn't gone, I didn't realize that this was the easiest way to do it, was to sit down and actually plan it. I can see Deb's put a comment in there about it can be really hard trying to say something different every day for a different social media post. You just need to have a plan. You need to have a plan about what your problems are for your clients, and where can you direct them, what information that you can give them that's going to help them with their problems. That's what it's about. That's how you get the interaction. Because if it's a problem for them, it's going to get them stopping. There's different ways of being able to present it. Now, once you've created your social media content calendar, it's time to actually begin posting on social media. This is the next step. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's time to actually start putting valuable content on social media, valuable content. Stuff that will get people's attention. If you want to win new clients and satisfy your existing ones, it's important to post like things that will add value to them. You're not just posting for the sake of posting. You're trying to provide your audience with high value information that will, help them sort their problems out. So your post should help your audience to think about something in a new way, or take action if they haven't, laugh or smile or learn something valuable. Sometimes we just put memes up. It doesn't have to be related. A really good one, we work with a lot of real estate agents. We do a lot of social media for real estate agents. So an idea of like a Friday afternoon meme would be, yay, thanks God it's Friday. Oh, hang on, I'm a real estate agent. I work all weekend. So it's something that gets people to stop and actually laugh and go, oh yeah, I can appreciate that. I work weekends too, or imagine that, it evokes a bit of emotion in them. Comes down to knowing your audience also. So you consider posts like inspirational quotes, which I touched on very earlier, tips and tactics, tutorial videos, live videos, pictures that will motivate your audience. So whether that's motivate them to be involved with you or do business with you. So let's say that you're a health and wellness coach. So you can post inspirational quotes about being healthy, tips and tactics for eating healthier. You could share a YouTube tutorial video on how to perform a particular exercise. You could do a live video in which you answer questions from your audience. You could do a recorded video like that. You could do funny pictures of people in yoga poses that were unusual. You see how there's just so many pieces of content that you could actually create. And the content is great. This is exactly where the majority of people spend 85% of their time is thinking about the content and creating the content. They spend 85% of their time doing that, and then they start posting it to Facebook, and then they go, it's not working, because they've actually spent the most amount of time in the wrong area. The worst thing that can happen is you put something out there and it doesn't work and you don't do it again. You sort of got to ask yourself, is this adding value to my audience? Is it making them laugh? Is it telling them something about myself? Is it, asking a question? And if it's not, then don't post it. We don't get it right all the time. There are some things that we come up with that we go, this is going to work really well, and we get nothing. We hear cricket. So audiences can be tough. I'm sure comedians will tell you that. Step 5, this is the most important thing. Engage with your followers. It's not enough to simply just post on social media and then go on your way. The real power comes for businesses that actually engage with their followers. The ones that actually create conversations between you and your followers. That's what you want to do. They're the key to getting more clients, and they're the key to getting people actually sharing and stopping and reading all of your social media content. It's not a one-way street, social media. This is what's great about digital marketing today. Social media allows you to interact with your customers before they've even walked in the door if you have a bricks and mortar. Before they even pick up the phone if you don't. You have an opportunity. It's a conversation between you and the people who follow you. Obviously, it's a conversation that involves both hosting, which is speaking, and listening and responding. And if you want to build relationships and gain clients through social media, you need to be having conversations and not just publishing new content. A trend I will tell you, though, that is growing is that people are less reluctant to respond to posts on your social media platform and are more inclined to send you a private message. And I don't know why this is. From our business perspective, we don't deal with really anything that sensitive, so we're still surprised by the number of personal messages that we get rather than people just commenting on our posts. But if you put a post up and someone sends you a private message that says, this is a problem that I have, can you help me? You can turn that into another piece of content. And then most recently, we had a client contact us about X. And the best way to be able to fix that is by doing Y. If you would like to know more about that, contact me. One of the things that matters most when it comes to being on social media, and this is where a lot of businesses struggle, is making sure that it feels authentically you. It's really important to make sure that your online and your offline are in line. And what I mean by that is quite often, particularly through this program, people will book a one-on-one session with me. And I then go and look at all of their online marketing. So I look at their Instagram, their website, their Facebook, I look at everything. I'm looking for consistency, and yes, that's great. But what I'm also looking for is when I meet this person, does this person, when I'm talking to them, whether it's via Zoom or whether it's in person, does what I saw online actually match with them? And that's not to say that either one is good or bad. It's not about whether it's good or bad. It's about, I have gone to the trouble of looking you up and I'm wanting to do business with you and I think I know everything all about you, and then I meet you and I go, hang on a second. This is nothing like I saw online. So a really good example, a lot of tradies fall into this trap. They get a website built by somebody, it looks so professional, it looks amazing, it's all great, Somebody calls them and say, hey, mate, can you come over and give me a quote on concreting my driveway? Well, the reality is they're going straight from this afternoon's job straight to be able to do that quote. They're covered in concrete. They're turning up in, they're not turning up exactly, they're all concrete all over them. They've got the work clothes on, their work boots on, and they're looking a bit rough because they've been working since 5 a.m. And so when they turn up, the client sort of goes, oh, well, that's not kind of what I was expecting from what I saw online. It's really important that your online and your offline are in line. And that goes the same for social media. Being authentic. Authenticity is very attractive. It will attract new followers. It'll turn them into clients, just like making mistakes, being authentic. Another reason to engage with followers is that social media platforms tend to prioritize the posts with the most amount of engagement. So posts with more likes and comments and shares, overall engagement will be shown more by Facebook. If you want to get your posts seen by as many people as possible, then you absolutely must engage with your followers on a regular basis. A lot of people ask, well, how do you do that? So, for example, if you put a picture up that was funny and 10 people liked it, imagine if you went onto that post and you actually said, thanks, Tom, thanks for liking my post. Tom might actually come back and say, oh my God, that was so funny. That's okay, I love to support you. You could put, I've seen the number of likes on this post. Thanks so much for supporting me, guys. You know, every like gets me closer to my goal. Just that little comment, just having that little bit of interaction. If you're not getting anything, then you may need to change up what you're actually posting. And it is a lot of trial and error. It can be a little bit frustrating. The more interaction there is, the more your posts will be seen. You must talk with your followers. You must create conversations, answer their questions, respond to any problems that is raised. The amount of social media posts that we see where they post something and somebody comments on it and the person doesn't post back, or the business doesn't post back. So if you put something up and somebody goes, this is a great idea, you need to reply, thanks, we thought so too. Did it add value? Did it give you value? Keep the conversation going. And then we'll go, yes, it did add value. Your goal is not to talk at your audience. It's to talk with them. Create conversations and relationships as much as you possibly can. Some people won't go past the like. So how can you create conversations with your followers where you can ask questions? I said earlier, you can do live videos in which you talk to your audience. I know that can be really daunting. I find these webinars daunting enough. I do struggle when I get live on social media, but I'm going to be working on that. You could do some polls. Mind you, I know polls for pages on Facebook aren't really working at the moment, but you could certainly ask the question whether the tomato sauce belongs in the fridge or the cupboard, because I'm still yet to get a consistent answer about that one. You can ask them to comment on a particular topic, as long as you have a focus on being real and authentic, because as soon as you're not being real and authentic, it becomes hard work. Is it okay to just like the comment without a reply? Here's a question that Fiona is asking. A like is better than nothing. Absolutely. But if you reply, you'll more than likely get much more reach with that post, because Facebook will see that you are trying to build a relationship. Remember, Facebook, Instagram, it doesn't matter what platform. Social media is about being social and building relationships. A good friend of mine once described the Facebook platform as like going to a barbecue. You walk into a barbecue and you don't know anybody, you wouldn't be holding up a sign that says, I'm a concreter, I'm a concreter, I'm a concreter. And every time someone comes up to you, you go, hi, I'm a concreter. Because people would just get sick of you. But if somebody came up to you and you said, I'm a concreter, and they said, that's fantastic, and you said, what do you do? That's building a relationship. And that's the way Facebook sees you replying to a comment on Facebook, with you trying to build a relationship, which is what they want. Step number 6, following the right people. A lot of people ask the question, do I need to, on Instagram, you follow people, and you do the same thing on Facebook as well. So social media isn't about getting people to follow you. It's also just about that. It's also about you following the right people and having conversations with them as well. So consider the influencers in your industry or people who are well known in your industry. So, obviously we are following the likes of a lot of, Mark Zuckerberg and a lot of those people who are involved in the social media platforms, because sometimes we use their content across onto our own page and say, today Facebook announced this. or this is what happened today. So it's about following the right people. It's about making sure that you're right across everything that you should be. For example, if you're like a financial advisor, you might want to follow other financial advisors in your industry, just so you can stay across everything. If you're a life coach, try to connect with other life coaches. If you're in the health and wellness space, follow other health and wellness practitioners. Not only will this cement you as being someone who is interested and knows a lot about the industry, but you might see some of their stuff and go, that's pretty good. I'm going to post something like that also. I'm not saying that you should directly copy it. What I'm saying is you can take the concept and go, I'm going to do something similar. So there people are discussing what they're saying at your holiday house on Facebook and you don't want to butt in. I don't necessarily know that a comment feels like butting in, but do what feels right. If it doesn't feel right, don't post it. Just like it. That's fine. I completely understand that. It can feel like that sometimes. You want to try and develop relationships with these people that you're following. So follow them, comment on a few of their posts, get that interaction happening as well. You'll be amazed at how many of them actually come back, like your page and start interacting with you also. The other thing that you need to consider is being part of groups that are related to your industry or in your local area. We call these community groups. So join in with groups and engage in the conversation. So if you're on the Facebook platform, some groups will allow you to join a page to a Facebook platform, otherwise join yourself personally and get involved in the conversation. We don't actually have a bricks and mortar business, so we are primarily online, but we do get involved in the discussion on our local community groups. We want to add value. So we share things across. We've got these webinars on and they're free. We share it across. These are free, guys. If you're a business owner or you know of one in the area, get them in. So adding value. It's not about promoting yourself. Now, as you follow your influence in your industry and take part in groups, take note of the valuable information that others are sharing. I said to you earlier about sort of, rejigging that. What sort of posts do others share and what sort of response are they getting? What content adds the most value to you? It gives you ideas for being, what you're going to use also. What content gets the most amount of response? What post generates the most amount of conversation and engagement? And sometimes it's just the most silly things and you're just like, what? Keeping in mind with any kind of page, like a Facebook page, it's about everybody seeing your business name coming up as many times as they possibly can. So if I'm in one of my local community groups and I'm having a conversation with something that's happening local, they're constantly seeing Altitude Business Solutions said that. And then I'm seeing Bob Jones said this, and they're going, Altitude Business Solutions said that. Anybody that comments or likes on a post that is in a community group, every time I comment on it, it will say Altitude Business Solutions has put a comment. So my name is getting shown up, and eventually they go, what is this Altitude Business Solutions and who is it? And they end up on our page to find out. You don't have to be completely original. You can take ideas from others. Step number 7, the use of hashtags. A lot of people ask me about hashtags. Now, hashtags are simply words with the hashtag symbol before them, and they are used to search for things. They can group your posts. They're used in a way to be able to group your posts by subject. You wanted to add a particular hashtag, it will be grouped with all the other posts that have that same hashtag. You can also, if you see a post with a hashtag, for those of you that have been on social media, and you click on that hashtag, it will show you all the posts that have that hashtag. One question that nearly everybody asks me about hashtags is, should I keep using the same hashtags or what hashtags should I use? So when it comes to what hashtags should you use, it depends what platform you're on. If you're on Instagram, you can have up to 30 hashtags. I suggest you use all 30 of them. If you are on Facebook at this point in time, they've only just introduced hashtags not that long ago, but I would say a maximum of 3. And I feel the same way about LinkedIn and Pinterest also. So when you're doing your hashtags, you need to be really strategic. If you're a bricks and mortar business, you would have a hashtag that would be related to your business. So in the case of my business, hashtag Altitude Business Solutions. You would then have a hashtag in relation to your location. If you're located in the Gold Coast, hashtag Gold Coast. And then you would have a hashtag related to the post that you are posting. This is when I'm just talking about 3. So if your post was talking about, let's just say it was a Funny Friday post, it's not even anything to do with business. The hashtag would be Funny Friday. People follow Funny Friday hashtags. That's what I mean, sometimes you just can't tell. If you're after a tool, another hot tip, write this one down. There is an app that you can get called Lee Tags, that's LEETAGS. It is an app that is yellow and has a black hashtag in the middle of it. I use this tool every single day. So you can open up Lee Tags and I can put in fish as the hashtag, and it will show me the top 30 hashtags relating to fish. And I simply copy and paste that across. Now, the reason why, when it comes to using your hashtags, I do want you always to use the business hashtag and your location hashtag. And I'm okay with you mixing the location up. So if you're based in the Gold Coast, but you service Brisbane to Tweed Heads, then put Brisbane, put Beenleigh, put all different. You can put different locations. I don't have a problem with that if you service that area. But it's that third one, making sure that third one does change different to content, because that will get you different followers and different people looking at it. This is particularly important when you are on Instagram. So the power of hashtags is that they allow you to get your content in front of a broader audience. So in other words, you can have your post seen by more than just your followers, because some people follow hashtags. Does that make sense? So if I'm on Instagram and I'm not following you, I won't see any of your posts. But I can guarantee you, if you use the hashtag beach, I will probably see your post, because I do follow hashtags about the beach. I love seeing beach. I have a big thing. I'm always looking for holiday shops. So I see, when I follow that hashtag on Instagram particularly. And sometimes businesses are just saying, wouldn't you like a day at the beach? Yes, I would. I would love a day at the beach. By using the appropriate hashtags, you can get your post seen by thousands, particularly on Instagram, if not millions of other people, because they simply like to follow hashtags. So how do you use your hashtags? Well, typically it works like this. You create your social media post, and at the end of the wording, not in the graphic, but at the end of the wording, or what you're going to type in, you would put the relevant hashtags. As we spoke about, you would put hashtags that are relevant to your business, your location, and what you're posting. If you were a CrossFit business, then you would put a hashtag relating to CrossFit. This is an example. Before you do any CrossFit workout, spend at least 10 minutes getting warmed up and stretched out. This is adding value. This wording. This is a tip. Hashtag CrossFit, hashtag CrossFit life, hashtag CrossFit workout. And then obviously there would be a picture that would go along with that would show somebody stretching. So we've got our relevant hashtags. In this example, it doesn't have a location, but that's my advice. Business name, location, what it relates to. So use your lead tag to find out what the #1 hashtag is for CrossFit. It may not be CrossFit, it may be CrossFit life. And then post that. On Instagram, you've got 30, so you've got plenty. One thing to be careful about with hashtags is if you use a hashtag that's not really related to the content that you're posting, that there's a chance that you could really turn people away. For example, keeping with that CrossFit example, if you were to have a hashtag completely unrelated to the post, then some people won't like it and they'll feel like you're abusing the hashtag. So just make sure that your hashtags are relevant to what you're posting. The name of it was an app actually that I suggested for your hashtags, and it's called LeeTags, LEETAGS. But if you Google hashtag generator, a few other free ones will come up as well. The reason why I suggested LeeTags is because it does allow you to copy on the app, and I use Instagram on the app all the time. So you can, oh, thanks, Deb. Look at that. You're like my little assistant today. That's awesome. Thank you. So it does allow you on the app to be able to simply go copy, and then you can just go over to Instagram and paste. So here we go. I forgot I put this in. To get help with hashtags, the app is LeeTags. Allhashtags.com is another one that you can use as well. That's very popular. And for those of you that know of the program Tailwind and you're using it for Instagram, Tailwind is another one as well, but this is a paid for service. Step number 8, experiment. Not everything is going to work. Some things aren't going to work. You'll need to experiment and see what works with your audience and what doesn't work. And please don't just write it off. Just go, let's just try something a little bit different. Different types of content will resonate with your audience, and you may find that videos work really well. Some will find that inspirational quotes work the best. Then you need to figure out how can you help your audience through your inspirational quotes to add value so that they'll eventually do business with you. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have any businessy posts, by the way. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that you're trying to build a relationship so that when they think about your business and the service that you offer or the product that you sell, they've been receptive to you on a social level, so they think of you first. So essentially, if you are a real estate agent, you're trying to become their real estate agent before they know they need to have a real estate agent. And for those of you that have ever bought or sold a property before, you'll know you're either in real estate mode or you're not in real estate mode. And when you're not in real estate mode, you're not following real estate agents, you're not watching them, and you're not doing anything. Unless they're putting up content that you can actually be social with, that you can laugh at. And then somebody's going to go, oh, you know, I'm thinking about selling my house. You go, oh my God, there's this local girl. She keeps putting stuff up. It absolutely cracks me up. You should, you know, get her in, see what she has to say about your house. Some people find that asking questions generates a lot of discussion. We don't find that on our page at all. Some types of content will simply resonate more with your audience than others, but you'll need to experiment. And unfortunately, that changes all the time. And experimentation is especially critical because social media platforms are constantly changing. And when that happens, you may have heard of people talking about the algorithm change. There's 2 things that you can do. Some people just start stamping their feet and, you know, have a bit of a tanty and go, that's it, I'm not using social media anymore. Other people just go, we'll just try posting some different stuff and see if we can get the reaction again, see if it'll work for us again. There is a way for you to use social media to your advantage without paying for it. We don't do a lot of paid ads. We really don't, but we interact with our audience a lot over social media. I don't want to pay for it. I want to have conversations with people. Be consistently testing to see what works more effectively or the most effectively for your page and your audience. You need to discover what's going to add the most value to your audience, and you can post more of that type of content. And that will help to make the engagement great. As I said to you, though, many people are choosing to send private messages, and I'm okay with that too. I just use what people tell me in private message to actually put it out to the rest of the world as well. So when you think about all of those things, like, are you actually using social media? If you're not regularly posting social media posts, if you're not replying to any of your comments, if you're not socializing in other community platforms like community groups, Are you actually using social media, or are you just chucking something up there and hoping that it will see it? With social media, you can attract new clients, you can build a brand, you can establish yourself as a thought leader. You can connect with new audiences, you can create meaningful relationships, and you can connect with other influencers. We're coming up on 2 years since we started Altitude Business Solutions, and the biggest compliment I have ever received was received 6 weeks after we started business, when somebody came to me and said, "Do you know who Altitude Business Solutions is? They are everywhere. Every platform I turn on, they're there." And I was like, that's me. And I still remember it. And I was like, yes, that's what it's about. I wanted people to see the brand. I wanted to be out there. I wanted people saying, "Who is this?" Then I wanted them coming to our Facebook page, and I wanted them checking us out, and then going to our website to see what it is that we did. It's not particularly complicated to, build your business through social media, but you've got to follow the steps. You've got to have a plan. You've got to have a bit of a strategy. That's why I said you've got to sit down from the start and actually do that plan. You don't need to be intimidated by it. You just need to be consistent, and you need to constantly post. So I've had a good question sent to me here, which is, my page is in a number of groups. How do I keep track of the conversations on all of these pages so I can comment? So that might be something, Dee, that I need to show you privately, but there is on each page now through Facebook, for example, there is a page feed. On Instagram, there is a feed. That's what's called a feed, and that is where you can interact with a number of groups and a number of pages, so you can comment. So on Facebook, when you go to your page, over to the left-hand side, you should see something called Newsfeed. You click on that, and that will take you to all of the pages that you have liked and what they're posting that day, and you can simply go through and interact. And then a little bit further down, you'll see groups, and then you can go into the groups, and it brings it all into one central location. So hopefully that little tip helped you out. We built our business using social media. That's where it started for us. We became part of this program because we were out there on social media. So don't wait. Don't wait any longer. There are clients out there just waiting for you to find them. It's just that when they're on social media, regardless of what platform they're on, under most circumstances, LinkedIn's a little bit different. On LinkedIn, they're normally there to do business. But on other social media platforms, they're there to be social. And if you're posting nothing but business posts and you're posting it once a week or once a month, I'm sorry, but they're just not going to see you with today's competition. 10 years ago, absolutely they would have seen you. But today they won't see you. There's too much competition, too many other pages out there. I know you guys have been putting questions as we've gone through, and I have gone through and answered it. And I do apologise. I know I'm running a couple of minutes over, but I started a couple of minutes late, just waiting for people to come in. So if you have any questions now is the time to actually put them in. If you've been sitting there thinking, I'm not sure if she's gone through everything, or I have this question I've just been waiting to see, please put it into the chat now and I will answer. And while I'm waiting for any questions to come through, I'm just going to go through a couple of upcoming webinars and workshops that are coming up. Many people ask us, when are your workshops and webinars coming up? So here we like to advertise the next couple. So Friday the 5th of February, we've got Canvas for Beginners, which is coming up. It's our free webinar. So while all of these free webinars are happening, guys, please go ahead and register for them in advance, because they could pull the free feature at any time. So go and register for these events. I'm actually going to put this in the chat for you, so you can go and register for this one. Canvas for Beginners. So for those of you that don't know Canva, it is a free graphic design tool for business owners, for anybody really. And we will be going through it for beginners on Friday the 5th. My next 2-hour workshop, so if you can appreciate how much value you get in this 1 hour, you can imagine how much value you get in 2 hours. $24.19, ridiculous price at the moment. This is talking about how to supercharge your blogging. So if you're a blogger out there and you want to know some more information on that, come join me Tuesday the 9th of February for a 2-hour workshop. A question that Heather's put into the chat is, does a business page have a story at the top like the profile? On Facebook at the moment, some of them do, yes, but they are removing that feature, Heather. So they are removing the story from Facebook. So some of you may have filled it out. You may, if you have a page and you filled it out, you may have recently got a message from Facebook, I know we did, that said, your story is about to disappear. So if there's any information in there that you need to keep, we suggest that you copy it over now, because they are removing that feature. They've recognised that no one's using it. So none of the clients are using it anyway, and none of the potential customers are using it. ASBAS is a fantastic program. It allows you to have free webinars like we have today, you know, workshops for under $25, one-on-one sessions from as little as $66, and it covers such a wide variety of topics now. So this probably needs to be updated a little bit. It did focus a lot on digital marketing and the use of digital software, but it's gone right into business management altogether. So we now have coaches on board the ASBAS program as well. So if you want to find out more details, not only about my upcoming webinars, but about everybody's upcoming webinars, then you need to head to asbas.com.au, and that way you will be able to see all of the fantastic webinars that are coming up and be able to go through and book in for all of those free ones. Are there workshops online or physical in attendance? Trish, some of them are moving to physical attendance, but a lot of them are online at the moment. So we do have some councils, I know in Queensland, are starting to move to physical again. So we will be, you know, we'll be out and about doing more like we used to. 12 months ago, we were out and about on the road doing workshops. So what I encourage you guys, connect with me via social media. Obviously, I'm on there all the time. I do have LinkedIn, I do have Facebook, I do have Instagram. So if you need to send me an email or head to my website to get the information, please do. I am on, I've just gotten onto the new one there, and I've totally had a slip of what the name of it is, Clubhouse. I've just gotten onto Clubhouse. I am addicted. I've been on there for a week and a half, and I'm listening at all hours of the day or night. So for those of you that have an iPhone and the ability to get on Clubhouse, you can connect with me there also. For those of you with an Android, don't worry, it is coming. It is coming very soon, and it is coming with force. It is going to be one of the newest and most effective social media platforms. I can hear you all sigh. Another one that you need to keep up with, yes. So, but it is very interesting, and if you're a business owner in particular, it will be one that you will probably want to be a part of, simply because there are so many experts on there. For those of you who know the speaking world, I had the opportunity to ask Grant Cardone a question the other day, so I was very excited. So think podcast, but live, and you get to ask questions. It's a fantastic platform for those of you that want to get on there. But if there's no further questions, guys, I hope you got a load out of it. I hope, as I said, it wasn't too overwhelming, but it is growing your business using social media, not just posting it and leaving it for somebody to look at. So hopefully you got all of that information. And if you have any clarifying questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. You can expect to receive a recording of this session within the next day or two. I do try and work very quickly to get them out. I just want to say thank you for joining me. There was quite a few of you on here today with over 65 registered attendees. I'm very flattered by the support, and hopefully to see you all in the future at one of our next events. So thanks so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.